Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for a Star Wars video. Yes, today is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Tomorrow's Revenge of the 5th, but I didn't even know there was a Revenge of the 5th. But anyway, let's focus on May the 4th. Today, what are we doing? We're going to be watching Star Wars films, we're going to be doing rankings and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to do my ranking from the worst Star Wars film to the best Star Wars film. Brilliant. Okay, so let's get started because I have spoken. Okay, so coming in last place is Attack of the Clones. Yes, the middle of the prequels. Now, although there are some exciting scenes in this film, such as the Jango Fett and Obi-Wan fight on Kamino, as well as the stadium fight at the end with all the weird creatures and things like that, it's not one of the most exciting Star Wars films. It is actually quite slow in places. Unfortunately, it's owed mainly to the love story, which drags the film along, and in some places it's actually quite boring. But as I say, there are lots of action pieces, and even the Yoda and Count Dooku fight scene at the end is actually quite an exciting one. The score is good. The visuals obviously are digital, mainly digital, but it's not one of the first Star Wars films that I would actually put on. And so far as acting is concerned, everybody does a good job. Unfortunately, Hayden Christensen comes across as very wooden and just likes to talk about sand all the time, and no one gives a crap about sand. He should have gone to a pebble beach. So Attack of the Clones is in last place. Next up, we have the first of the prequels, The Phantom Menace. Yes, where we meet little Annie, little 10-year-old Annie, and we welcome Jar Jar with open arms and skewers and swords. Yes, as again, like Attack of the Clones, there are some really good set pieces in The Phantom Menace. The pod race is one of the highlights of the film, and so is the end fight with Darth Maul. But there's a lot of naff dialogue through the film, a lot of cringe moments. Are you an angel? And stuff like that. And sometimes it's hard to believe that the dialogue was written by the same bloke that did some of the better Star Wars films. But yes, that's The Phantom Menace coming in at 10th place. Next up, 9th place, we have The Last Jedi. That's right, Rian Johnson's entry into the Star Wars universe and changing things up a little bit after J.J. Abrams' Force Awakens. Decided to take it in a different direction, a bold new direction. Some people would consider it didn't work. There are a few moments in the film maybe where we didn't really need it, like the gambling planet and the weird farrier horse racing thing, whatever it's called. But all in all, I liked the connections between Rey and Kylo, and we get to see a different side of Luke, a grumpier side to Luke. Two of the things that I would have preferred not to have happened in The Last Jedi, I would have preferred Snoke to have stayed alive and been the main villain from the whole trilogy. And I would have also liked to have seen more Porg action. Yes, maybe a Porg with a lightsaber, that would have been good. Okay, in 8th position is Solo, a Star Wars story. That's right, we go back to the past to see a young Han Solo in his prime, starting out where he came from, and his first meeting with Chewbacca, how he got his name. It's a good job the Imperial officer didn't call him Loser, otherwise he'd be Han Loser. We've got some great characters, some exciting pieces, including the robbery, the train robbery. That's probably one of the highlights. We have Woody Harrelson and Emilia Clarke, plus the introduction of a young Lando Calrissian, played brilliantly by Donald Glover, and the introduction of a new droid, L337. A lot of people didn't like the droid. I actually really did like the droid. Yes, I thought she was a right sarcastic cow, but I thought she threw some much needed humour into the film. Next up at 7th place we have The Last of the Skywalker Saga, The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, this is a long film, and because J.J. Abrams started this series out, and with Rian Johnson coming in midway and changing things around, poor old JJ came back and had to flip a few things around. And personally, I think that if JJ had actually directed The Last Jedi, I think it would have been a much more continuously flowing series of films. They would have had a beginning, a middle and an end, rather than a bit of jumbling here and there. There were some interesting pieces. Zori was an absolutely fantastic character in The Rise of Skywalker. I love the desert scenes with the music festival. Again, we get to see Lando, but a much older Lando, played by Billy D. Williams. We've got Wedge Antilles coming in. An absolutely brilliant battle at the end. Absolutely fantastic, spectacular. Love all the scenes with Rey and Kylo. And of course, we get to see the puppet master again of the entire Star Wars saga. That's right, Palpatine is back. This time a clone, but more evil than ever. Next up on my list is Revenge of the Sith, the last of the prequels. This one is much more exciting. This is the build-up. This is where Anakin goes dark. Even though we've got some really naff dialogue again from Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor shines as Obi-Wan with some great dialogue. Palpatine steps up, turns really dark. We get to see the evil Palpatine side. We also have a really great fight between Palpatine and Yoda in the Senate as well. And it's just exciting. Everything is building up right up to the lava planet at the end. Great fight. And if Anakin hadn't have had those pints last night, maybe he wouldn't have been so legless. Coming in at 5th place, The Force Awakens. Yes, our new introduction to the new Star Wars universe from J.J. Abrams, introducing us to all those new characters: Rey, Finn, Poe, Kylo. Just so many great characters. Some people say that it's a rehash of the original film, but you have to look at it with different eyes. There are so many great pieces in the film. I love how we follow the journey of this young woman as she progresses through finding out who she is, that she's had this feeling, and coming to grips with eventually her powers and embracing it. Coming in at 4th place is Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Yes, this basically is set just before the original film A New Hope. We always heard about how, rebel spies stole the plans to the Death Star, and this is a story basically about those spies, led brilliantly by Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor and K2SO, who both of those last two characters are going to be appearing in the new Cassian Andor series, so looking forward to that, as well as Mon Mothma's return as well. But this has a feel. This is probably the only Star Wars film after the originals that has the same feel as the original movies, specifically the main Star Wars film, Episode 4. Directed brilliantly by Gareth Edwards. We even get Vader. We have some fantastic Vader scenes. Great villain in Ben Mendelsohn. And it's just a joy. It's just a joy to watch. I never get bored watching Rogue One. It's one of the best Star Wars films there is. We get to visit some great planets. Scarif is one of the highlights of the film. And it's just a great, fantastic Star Wars film. And that end scene with Vader on board the ship, cutting down those rebel soldiers, is going to be right up there with the best moments. Coming in at 3rd place, we have some fluffy little teddy bears. Yes, Return of the Jedi, the 3rd in the original trilogy. All of the characters from the original trilogy are back, with the addition of the Ewoks. We have great scenes at the beginning with Jabba the Hutt, with the Sarlacc. We have the demise of Boba Fett, or did he? Maybe he flew out of the Sarlacc off camera, we don't know. yes, he should turn up in The Mandalorian. Other highlights of the film: the speeder bike chase, the big battle at the end with the Emperor. This is when Palpatine was really evil and you were really scared of him. As a young kid, I was terrified of that Palpatine. He really brought across the evilness of him. And of course we had redemption at the end, and it was the perfect end to a great trilogy. Coming in at second place is the original Star Wars: A New Hope, introducing us to Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and all of the other characters, all of the droids, Darth Vader. And I think this was made for about $11 million, and it went on to make bucket loads. But and I remember seeing videos of people queuing up around the block, seeing it 2, 3 times, 4 times in the same day back in the day. But this introduced us to a new universe, and if only George Lucas knew how long this universe was going to go on for. Everything about it is fantastic. The designs, the stormtrooper designs, the ship designs, the look of it, the feel of it. It's just such a great film to watch. So, of course, you know what number 1 is. Number 1 is the greatest science fiction film of all time, The Empire Strikes Back, and my favourite movie of all time. This was a little bit darker than the first film. Even at the beginning of the film, when we have the battle on Hoth, things are not going well for the rebels. You know, they're being pursued by the Imperial forces and they're having to flee the base, and it's like at the beginning of the film they're actually losing. The dialogue is on point. The dialogue is absolutely incredible. You can't get any better dialogue in a Star Wars film than The Empire Strikes Back. We get to see the city in the clouds, Cloud City, with the introduction of Lando Calrissian. Beautiful looking city in the sky. Some great action pieces. Luke and Vader's lightsaber duel is absolutely perfect, perfectly choreographed. The tension, the excitement. We even get to see this little fella here as well. Yes, that was magic. That was movie magic. From a little green puppet about that big. It could have either gone as it did, or it could have just sunk. It could have ended up being the worst thing of the movie. But as soon as he appeared on that film, magic happened. Absolute magic. And those scenes are just so beautiful to watch, and the character has endured this long because of the lovability of him. And even now with the Mandalorian, you know, we're seeing another one of his race, even though Baby Yoda is not actually related to Yoda that we know of. The foundlings, I think they call them, the child. But it's great that we get to see another of his species starting out his journey with the Force. So it's going to be exciting to see where he goes through the Mandalorian. But as far as The Empire Strikes Back is concerned, the middle film, it doesn't even leave us on a happy note. It kind of, or on a sad note, it kind of leads us midway. It leaves you wanting more, and that's a great cliffhanger. Brilliant. So I hope you enjoyed my ranking of all the Star Wars films. There will be more videos to come during May the 4th. That's right, Star Wars Day. So I hope you're all having fun doing all your Star Wars bits and watching your videos. I'm looking forward to getting into the new Mandalorian documentary series. So that should be really good. And also Rise of Skywalker 4K should be on Disney Plus now in the UK. So you can watch the entire Skywalker saga. Fantastic. So hope you enjoyed the video. Like it by giving it some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. And I'll see you around the galaxy. And don't forget, the Force will be with you. Always.